I love to perform.
All right, what's next on the dock, bro?
So yeah,
Introduce the next subject. Let's deep dive on the next subject.
So Mr. Jon Stewart, want to go into that?
Go ahead. What happened with Jon Stewart?
Jon Stewart went and addressed Congress over health care for the 9/11 first responders. Did you see it?
I did see it.
But during that whole thing, like, he went hard, like super hard.
I know. I did see it.
And he actually teared up and everything.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was legit.
Super legit.
It was definitely, if it wasn't like, that's like, dude, like there was conviction behind what he was saying. Everything that he said was on point. I felt like it was a respectful anger. It was righteous anger, I felt.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
This is not just for some, random, people that are sick. Like, these are people that arrived
the first responders
to 9/11
yeah.
before anyone, to help those in need, to help save lives. And to the result of that, they all ended up super sick. Some of them have cancer.
Yeah.
Some of them have serious
some of them
injuries.
were there and still like dying. Like some of them are like really suffering to the point of death.
And they're like talking about taking away the healthcare fund that they're receiving to help them with, the chemo and any therapy or any of that stuff is going to be completely done away with. I think they said within the next 5 years or so. And the whole room was filled with, all the first responders, and even talked about people who couldn't make it because they literally are so sick they can't even walk.
Wow.
So yeah, he went hard. He went super hard. The fact that they're American, because I guess I didn't know this, but one of the things that they were saying is that, that's a New York problem. And he was saying, like, some of the first responders weren't from New York. Like, there was people from all over, different states that came down to be a first responder as well. And because they're not New York, technically, that's another reason why they were like, this is getting out of hand. This is too expensive. We can't really be helping all these people. And they were making excuses throughout. Oh no, it wasn't the it wasn't the pile of stuff that was everywhere that was getting everyone sick. That was proved wrong. And then he was like, well, maybe it was, but now that we know, we can't really afford it. So it was like excuses all the way up into it, and then now they're just trying to get rid of it. So he was just really mad that it just seems like the United States is not coming together to love these people.
Forgive me if I don't know, but Jon Stewart was a late night host.
Comedian.
So was he
as well?
And he used to talk about politics too.
An activist, yeah.
He's an activist. So he is like an open activist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He's a comedian and activist, as well as a host.
So what is he like? What does he represent?
What do you mean?
Like, what is his position in that as an activist? Like, what is he an activist for?
In this issue?
No, well, not just, is this the only thing that he's representing, or has he always been involved with?
I didn't know he was an activist. I knew that he was a smart political man because, a lot of the stuff that he talks about are politics, but I didn't know he was an activist until I saw it under his name. Because, like, legit, like,
I just saw this thing come up.
Yeah.
On my news feed somewhere. I just saw it and all right, let me check this out. And I clicked it. And I was like, oh, that's Jon Stewart. And then when he started like saying his speech, I was like, whoa, like where did this come?
I thought it was going to be hilarious.
What?
Like I thought he was going to be making jokes.
It was like, oh my goodness, bro. Like that speech is like going to be quoted for like years. Like that's something that's going to always be there.
Yeah.
And like, you read the comments and everybody's like, wow. It doesn't matter what side like you're on politically. Nothing matter. Like that speech was everybody was moved by that speech. Just full of conviction and
you can tell that
facts.
it was not a speech to get views.
Right. It was legit. The dude got choked up a few times.
Yeah.
You don't
get choked up on fake, emotion. And the dude choked up a couple times. It wasn't once. It was a couple times. Maybe even a few that what he was saying affected him to the point where he couldn't even really fully articulate it.
Yeah.
Speaking about personal friends, that he knew, it was crazy. It was a really encouraging speech, because not only does it speak the truth about how the United States has been handling this whole thing, or at least, you know, New York, but as well as how we should respond.
Right.
You know, how we should look at these types of situations and want to do more. You know,
I don't know if it's because we're getting older, but I've been noticing a lot of people standing up lately.
Yeah,
I've been noticing a lot of like within like in politics, like standing up.
I think a big part of that too is because of social media. Now we're able to see more. But I think that also because of social media, people are more willing to open up. People are getting braver.
Yeah.
To speak up and really speak
people
their
feel
mind.
Like they have a voice.
Yeah.
They're like they're being heard. So I guess there's man, it's so tricky, dude. It reminds me of like the verse in the Bible where it talks about how even when you want to do good, sin is still not too far behind.
Yeah.
You know, and how you can have all the right motives to go, you know, represent this cause, but even then, like, still get tripped up with unrighteous anger or whatever, or just trying to win, you know, and doing whatever it takes to win. You might go in with the right motive to help people, and then opportunity. I'm not saying him. I'm just thinking about
how it applies to us.
Yeah, like just even us, like with, you know, death to life, and just analyzing everything from afar. Because I remember that judge came out. Was it the judge? Remember we were talking about, she came out, she's like, just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Oh,
yeah, about the Smollett case.
And now all these documentaries are coming out, right? Like on different, TMZ. T.I. just came at TMZ. Yep. Because TMZ did a report on, I think it was his sister. Yep. And because they went ahead and released some of the results that the autopsy person found, their conclusions or whatever. Yeah. And it kind of led people to believe that she died of an overdose. Right. Because they found traces of drugs and that was in her system. And basically what he was saying was like, she's not a celebrity. Yeah. Exactly. Like, why are you reporting this stuff about someone who has nothing to do with anything regarding entertainment?
Fame or entertainment.
Yeah. Like, I am
literally because that's his sister.
Right. So like,
that's literally the only thing they can.
But my point is, here comes T.I. publicly like rebuking them really, and telling them, you know,
they actually apologized.
Yeah, I know that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you're seeing a lot of this happening now. Like, people are opening up and speaking up against things that are wrong. You know, podcasts kind of like there's a bunch of podcasts out there that everybody's trying to give you the secrets to move forward, whether it's entrepreneurship, literally a how-to on everything. Like, you can start a business. There's no, you know what? And this is to us too. This is to us too. But anybody listening to this right now, there is literally no excuse on you not starting a business now, today. Because you literally can get the blueprint
for anything
on YouTube. If you, you know, email marketing.
Like, I want to sell bananas,
dude. Anything.
Go on YouTube and say how to sell bananas.
There is a guru for everything. Everything.
For real.
There is somebody out there ready to teach this. There's a whole bunch of hustlers out there. And yes, you got to be careful and cautious about who you do business with, because some of them are just sharks that want to fill up their pockets, and they're going to fake, you know, that they're experts in a certain thing and just bait and switch you and bam and take your money. So you got to be careful, you know, verify everything. But there is a bunch of people out there in almost every niche right now. Fitness, bam, there's a whole community for that. Entrepreneurship, bam, whole community for that.
Yo, even my father-in-law,
Dungeons and Dragons,
my father-in-law won't even take his car to get fixed because he's like, put it on YouTube.
Put on YouTube.
I go on YouTube and I face it.
Yeah, bro, I know.
Yo, major things that you would have to do to a car, and they literally teach you on, at least if you have the equipment, you could do it yourself. Change an engine out. Yeah. Like crazy stuff. Fix an axle.
Fix an axle.
And yo, he'll look it up, the whole thing. He'll show me the video, and then he'll go in the garage and literally do it. Yeah. Step by step from a YouTube.
Well, bro, I know 2 people personally that have like overnight become expert electricians, remodelers of like dudes doing additions to their houses, and from YouTube, just YouTubing, like redoing their ceilings and like what, like just expert realtors and remodelers.
If there's
all
not
from
a YouTube video, there's an app for it.
There's an app for that. No, legit. It's like there's no excuse right now, man. Everything
I want to be a
is
successful
there.
singer. Oh, there's an app for that.
But anyway, I don't know how we jumped to that. But what I'm saying is like there's a sense of, it's kind of both, dude. It's weird because you got a sense of moralism, you know, like people are fighting for moralistic values and whatnot. But then you also got a sense of chaos because it's kind of like these two things are riding the same wave together.
Yeah,
I got rights. We got rights. We're blessed because we got rights. But everybody's moving together with all their ideologies together. Like everybody's like, we all got, you know, like what are we supposed to do? Create like different islands for everybody. Like here's your rights. Here's your rights. Here's your. Like,
and that's the thing that got Jon Stewart so mad, is because if everybody has the same rights, you know what I'm saying, and we are to be a just and fair country, then these people should take priority. Because they risk their lives for other people, and now they have the possibility of being forgotten and left for dead, basically. Because he ended his argument with that. He's like, you guys can end this and know that people are going to die because you took this away. Yeah. Like that's inevitable. Yeah. You know, and that's crazy, man. Like even people that literally risk their lives are being looked at like, man.
And that, you know what? Sadly, that happens all the time, bro. It's not even just that. You think of like just veterans, bro, coming back, you know, having all these issues and whatnot, and just most of them are, you know, a lot of them are, you find them in the streets. Yeah. You know, like it's sad, dude. It's sad. Pray for them and pray for people like Jon Stewart. Like pray for people that are out there and bold enough to speak up, man. There's so many causes out there. It's overwhelming sometimes, but I'm happy that God puts in certain specific people's hearts certain battles that they know they're called to stay, because it's impossible for us to stand against everything out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it takes serious guts to tell your government that they're being whack.
Yeah, true.
Like, he straight up told his government, like, y'all are being whack.
Especially since nowadays, like social media is the biggest form of you know, us being heard, and now they have the power to just shut people up. Yep. You know, shut down your channel, shut down your page. Here you go, shut up. You know, you ain't with us, you're against us, see you later, silence you.
Or they'll stick you into this little group where now your voice is only heard within that little circle,
right,
and nowhere out of it, because they put you in that algorithm. Like anything that says this word,
but you know what,
he says a lot.
You know what, I remember going back to Shadow. Okay, going back to Shadow, where Shadow was like, you go ahead, put me in that box, because God is the one, you know, who puts me in that box. You know, I don't care. God has the ability to get the message out there. Is pretty much what he's saying. And no matter what kind of algorithms they set, which is true, but at the same time, like when I was thinking about the algorithm thing and like educating us on how things actually work, which I still think is a fact, like we should be educated on how things work. Yeah. Not knocking that. But wait, let me finish. But at the same time, if God puts, let's say, Shadow in a box, and he's an influence in that box, well then praise God, like be an influence in that box. Yeah. Like that's where he's supposed to be at. Yeah. So like, just find your thing, like find your calling. Don't feel, you know what, for the person that doesn't have a strong zeal against something that somebody else might have, don't feel like you're less than that person. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Like some people have a bit more zeal for certain things than others.
Yeah,
you know, like,
and don't feel like you're less because you don't share the same. I mean, we should all hate things that are sinful and unlawful and whatnot. We should hate those things.
But it's just like a person that says, oh wow, this person has such a zeal to preach, they're probably used by God more because all I do is like to sing.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
That's you can't
Find your lane.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, find your lane and don't compare to other people's lanes.
What we were talking about that day with Shadow was respecting the systems. So, for instance, if I am a evangelist and I'm going to go to China, where religion and especially Christianity is forbidden, it's smart for me to understand those systems that exist over there and what I'm allowed and what I'm not allowed to do, so that way I can be effective.
Right.
If I get right off the plane in China and go, Jesus is king and you all need to repent, I'm going to be arrested on the spot. And guess what? None of that, what I just said, is going to go further than the tarmac of the airport.
So are you supposed to lie, like, when you go in?
Not lie.
Like,
I'm just saying. You have to respect the systems. If they don't want you broadcasting
is it you being mad sneaky, like you're trying to infiltrate?
Is it being sneaky? Yeah. Respecting the laws and using
no, you're trying to infiltrate
accordingly?
Like, I'm coming in here to take.
Hey,
I'm gonna change all these people. I think it's honestly, I think it's like, be faithful where the calling's at, because some people have,
and respect the systems that exist.
I feel like, you know how they say go into all the world, and sometimes we're so selfish that we think going into all the world means outside of the United States specifically.
Yo, just like when we had God Over Porn, and they were telling us all those things that they hear. Like, some people are in such a bad situation that they actually have to advise them to call the cops. Right. That's here. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's here. Like, people going through some crazy stuff. Like, so that's another great point.
Because they have Christians from other countries coming over here to share the gospel.
Yo, real talk.
We're getting preached to, bro.
They're like, yo, that miracle. Yeah. That miracle is desolate in the Lord.
So